Hi, I'm Catherine from the Port Orange Regional Library. Today I'm going to show you a few do-it-yourself bird feeder tricks. Some of these are very simple and good for kids, and I'll show some progressively harder for adults too. Ready to get started? Let's go. I bet you have a lot of these. Don't know what to do with them, do you? Well, guess what? We're going to turn one into a simple bird feeder. All we need is peanut butter and birdseed, and then either yarn or twine to tie it up. Okay, so let's get started. You have lots of these at home, I'm sure. What we're gonna do is smear peanut butter on it. I know, it doesn't sound like much fun. Kids will enjoy it. And I will speed this part up. Crunchy is not the best. I happen to have crunchy peanut butter. This is so much easier with smooth peanut butter. But the birds do love the nuts. Okay. You get the idea. Now you're gonna take and roll it in the bird seed. There you go. That will delight any bird. Now, you're gonna need some kind of twine or yarn to hold it. Here I have baker's twine, which is very easy to use, but something to make it even more special that the kids will love is to add some even more treats for the birds. We're gonna use Cheerios or any round, circular breakfast food. And we're going to thread it with the Cheerios. You can see here I've already started. I think you get the idea, so I'm not going to finish it. There. It might not be pretty to look at, but if you're a bird, you'll love it. All right, we're going to do the same kind of trick. Like this time, we're going to use a pine cone. I don't know about you, but there's lots of these all over the yards right now. Again, peanut butter. And just shove it in there. Birds love peanut butter. So do squirrels, by the way. You might have a hard time keeping the squirrels off of this one. Now be careful when you're using the pine cones, because sometimes they're a little pokey. We don't want kids to get hurt on these. But an older kid would be able to do this and enjoy it. Once you get all of the peanut butter on that you want, you're going to do the same thing that we did with the toilet paper roll. We're going to roll it in birdseed. And look at there. When you covered the whole thing with birdseed, tie it up and hang it from a tree, the birds will be happy. And it's really pretty to have birds in your yard. All right, let's do a couple more. Do you know it's really easy to make a bird feeder out of a tin can? Wash the tin can well first and make sure there's no sharp edges. You don't want any sharp edges that can hurt you or anybody. Then get your outdoor paints, patio paints. You can use regular craft paints, but then you'll want to seal it if you're going to have it outside. And paint it and decorate it. Then you're going to put birdseed in it. Now, it helps if the birds have a perch. So you can use maybe the spoon that you used to use, glue it in. Hot glue works for this. You can use instant miracle glue or industrial strength glue. If you have a popsicle stick, a wooden bamboo skewer, anything. And rather than showing you through the long process of painting and gluing, I did one already. And this one has a perch for the birds to land on. It's painted in colors bright enough that from a distance I'm gonna enjoy looking at it. And for birdseed, there, when you lay it sideways, the birds will be able to perch and eat the bird seed. If you are worried about so much of it falling out, you can use paper, cardboard, foam, anything to make a little edge for it there. Just cut it out and glue it on. Then, all you need is a ribbon. You can tie the ribbon on. You can make this as pretty as you want. But I'm going to tell you a secret. The birds don't care. They just want the food. But you care. So you design it as pretty as you want it. And there you go. I've just saved a tin can from going into the dump. And I've made a pretty bird feeder for my birds. And this will last a very long time. Okay, moving on up to some things that are a little bit tougher. Maybe you've seen this before. Did you know that you can make a bird feeder out of a teacup? This is an adorable set of teacups that someone had given me, and I love them dearly. They've been sitting in my cabinet for about 10 years. I don't have tea parties, sadly. But they're so beautiful, and I want to be able to see them, and now I can see them in my garden. What I did, and what I'm going to do, is used an industrial strength glue. I glued down the side of where this would touch, and I turn it on its side. There you go. I've got one already done. And this is my bird feeder. I have been testing this all week and it has worked great. The squirrels have not caused any damage. And my squirrels do try to get to my bird seed. But this is so pretty. Look there. And again, with the ribbon. Make a pretty teapot bird feeder. All right, I have one more to show you. It gets a little bit complicated. This is harder to learn, but what we're going to do is use fruit that we probably already have. We're going to cut it in half, and we're going to scoop out the inside. Hopefully eat the insides first. And then we're going to use this to fill up with birdseed. But what are we going to put it in, you ask? Well, let me show you. We're going to do a simple macrame trick. It's very simple. Now, if you don't want to macrame it, that's fine. You can use a knife, a knitting needle, a sharp tool to put holes in it and just put yarn through it, or string or twine to hold it up. We're going to make a little basket. So what we're going to do is cut eight pieces of string twine yarn. I like to do it about arm's length. I can't handle much more, and that seems to be a good height for me to hang it. So I do that. Got my first piece, get my second piece, keep them about the same. I'll do that, and I'll do that 6 more times. Well, I know you don't want to watch me cut that, so guess what? I've got one already finished. Here. First thing you have to do, you take your 8 strands We're going to just tie a simple knot. There. That is actually going to be the bottom of our bird feeder. Then what you'll need to do, you want to separate 2 strands. Groups of 2s. And what's really great about this project, if you mess it up and don't do it how you like it, you can untie it and try again. And I have had to do that, so don't feel bad. First thing you need to understand is this is going to be a basket to hold up our fruit. So we need to sort of judge what size we need. I'm using grapefruit in this instance, so I think I'm going to want to start about there. So I'm going to just tie a knot. And if I hold this and put my finger down, I can sort of keep the knot in the general area that I want it. I'm going to do that 2 more times. And I want to try to be consistent, sort of consistent with these links. But again, these do not have to be perfect at all. See, that's not too far apart. This is a very simple beginner type of macrame. So if you find you enjoy doing this, you might want to look into macrame. Knot tying can be a lot of fun. Yeah, they're pretty good so far. Alrighty, so I have my knots. They're not perfect, but that's okay. They're close enough. Next step, still have your groups here, but you need to sort of spread these out just a little bit because we're going to join the neighbors together. Doing the neighbors, you're wondering what I meant by that. Well, we're going to take this far one that's out. I'm going to get this one out of the way. I don't need it right now. I'm going to take this far side, get that one out because I don't need it yet either. But these 2 neighbors, we're going to join them together. And again, learning what lengths to do is going to take practice, and you might not get it right. I might not get this one right, but I'll try again if I don't. Okay, so that one's done. Well, this one's lonely, so let's come over here to this one. I was so quick in showing you the other parts of bird feeding because I knew this was going to take some time. But this is actually my favorite one. And so far my birds love it. I have lots of birds that come to my yard. I have cardinals and blue jays and little brown birds that I'm not sure what they are, but they're just adorable. I have mourning doves. I have the occasional crow. But I have not seen any of the crows at the bird feeders. I do have squirrels, They're my biggest obstacle to feeding birds. Maybe I should do a video on things you can do to dissuade squirrels from eating all your birdseed. But I've learned the best thing to do is give squirrel easy food in the front yard and bird specific food in the backyard, and it tends to work out okay. Okay, see, I've done that so far, but remember these two outside pieces? Well, it's time for them to join, so I'm gonna flip this just so I have easier access to it. And tie this knot to about there. All right, my knots are, again, my knots aren't perfect, but they'll do. Now I just need to tie the top. And there we have it. So you're going to take this, we're going to open up this basket, and ta-da! And now all I need to do is add my bird seed. All right, so you've tied the top knot, you've made your basket, and there you go. A beautiful little hanging bird feeder. I hope you find lots of ways to feed your backyard birds. And if you have any trouble or want to learn more about your backyard birds, come on over to the library. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you've made some wonderful bird feeders or will make some. And don't worry, if you want to make some that are even better and more complicated, we've got books for that.